We're all getting older. We're not all young like we used to be. By the way, speaking of being young like we used to be, I need to do a new video update on Miss Lori Harvey and Miss Chloe Bailey. Now, I don't know if you guys remember that video that I did on both of those guys was a long time ago. It was like one of my first group of videos here in YouTube land, and I actually have seen Chloe since then. As far as to in entertainment, of course, not personally, but I've also seen Lori Harvey in the video, and I saw that thing and I said, yes, 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 I am so on point. Here's what I saw, okay? In one of my last videos, I told you guys that in my books, if you've read them, I told you that there's 3 stages in a woman's life. Now, it's a hard reality that we have to deal with. A lot of us don't want to deal with it, but it's the actual truth, okay? The first stage of a woman's life is the maiden. The maiden is when you are youthful, you are young, your body is lean, and it is, your body fat is almost at zero, and you're very narrow, and you are finding out who you are as a woman. You are exploring your options. You're out there, you're dating, you're getting your feet wet. That's your maiden stage of your life. And then you have the mother stage of your life. That's the age where you go out and you have babies, and you create a home for yourself. And then there is the crone. So you have the maiden, mother, crone. The crone is now the grandma. Your kids are now bringing your babies back to you, right? Those are the 3 stages of a woman's life. Now, we kind of want to be like, I want to stay as a maiden as long as I like to, honey, but listen, I wish I could too. But the truth is that the way Mother Nature sees it is that in order for you to be able to have children, and I say energetically, but hormonally, there has to be hormones present for you to be able to, have children and lactate and, produce milk and all that stuff. And so it's not necessary when you are the maiden. So the way Mother Nature has you set up, it has you set up in such a way that you're going to be a maiden. You're going to be the mother, and then you're going to be the crone. So that's the maiden, the young girl, the mother, and then the grandmother. That's unfortunately, that is the way nature has it set up. And what I like to teach in my books is how to best maximize those periods of your lives. I also said in one of my last videos, don't you die, don't you die. And the reason why I said that is because sometimes we age ourselves out of each phase. Sometimes we age ourselves too soon. And then we wish, oh my gosh, I wish I was 35, because back when I was 35, honey, I was looking good. But I stayed home all the time, or I didn't get out and I didn't enjoy life, or I wish I had 20 back again. When I was 20, I was tight and things were good. We age ourselves out too soon. So that's why I tell you guys, remember to don't die. Enjoy each phase of your life, because you're not going to have it for long, okay? You're not going to have it for long. All of us are meant to come here for a journey, and it is not going. So you're not going to be a maiden forever. You're not going to be the mother forever. At some point, you are going to age, and you are going to be the grandma. Now, whether or not you have grandkids at that age, okay, that's up to you. That's up to nature. That's up to God, right? But the point is that if you are blessed enough to make it to that stage of your life, that is what it's going to be. So enjoy as much time as you possibly can. And I say that because I need to do a video for Lori Harvey and Chloe Bailey, because I told you guys that they were moving into that stage of their life where, they were the maiden. Oh my goodness, were they the maiden? But now, both of those young ladies, when I see them both, I can clearly see that not only energetically, but hormonally, they're moving into the next phase of their life, which is the mother phase. Now, we can't get it too twisted, okay? Because it is very possible that we don't realize what stage of life we're in and we miss it, okay? They're moving into the mother phase of their life, and how you can see that is that the body becomes more matronly-like, okay? So where you are the maiden, your body is kind of up and down and kind of narrow, and then when you move into the mother phase of your life and you start to become more matronly, that means that the body starts to look more like a woman, right? Those hips start to spread. Now, when you had those little arms at one point when you were a maiden, now you have actual arms, right? And so now you find yourself having to work out at the gym, like literally work out, because now there are hormones in your body that wasn't in your body 10 years ago. So I see that for both Chloe and and Lori, and I want to give you guys some important information as far as the femininity and what is, as far as it relates to that, how important it is for you to maximize this moment. And that's for both of those girls. I'm going to do a video on it, and I do know that somebody saw my video. I'm not going to say any names, but I want to say thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate it. So that video will be coming soon. Now let's get into today's video. We are talking about the fantastic, highly energetic Jeannie Mai. Hey, honey. Hey, honey. Miss Jeannie Mai. Um, Before I go into my assessment, my energetic assessment and all of that stuff, okay, as far as to, what is it about Jeannie Mai that just, that makes Jeannie Mai, and how does she get Jeezy, and why does that mix, why is that mix there? Jeannie is night and Jeezy is day, that's what people are thinking, right? But I'm going to shed some light here in this video, and I hope you stick around to figure out what the heck I'm talking about, because it is going to go deep. You might need to get a pen and a paper to go ahead and really kind of take a deep dive in this, because that again, all right? Jeannie Mai, highly energetic, okay? When you see her, she just lights up, she smiles. She has no problem smiling. What is it about her that made Jeezy say, that is my wife? Now, of course, I don't know this from Jeezy's perspective. I'm only going to be talking about what I see energetically, okay? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Jeannie Mai is day and he's night and he's with her because of X, Y, and Z, maybe trying to get a come up and all that stuff. No. You got the wrong video if you think that's what I'm going to do here. Today we're going to be breaking it down energetically. This is an energetic reading from me, based on what I've seen, on the stuff that she shares, based on what I've seen on the internet. I want you guys to pay attention to this video, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my assessment. Go ahead, roll it.
I hated you at the time because at that time I feel like you want to run away, you want to learn heart rate, go ahead, run. I don't need that kind of daughter. That's how.
So, some of you guys might be thinking, well, Jeannie is one way and Jeezy is another. Like, how does that happen? How does Jeannie Mai get with the snowman? The snowman from, the snowman where shirts and things couldn't be worn to school, the snowman. How did that happen? And, you might be thinking, well, Jeannie is day and he's night and it doesn't match up. Well, no, I'm going to put that to bed today, and I want to shed some light on a few things. I'm going to show you why. Now, not many people watch my Derek Jean, I don't even know how to say the guy's name, Derek Jean's video, but there's a point in there that I made that is going to be in this video. And these videos are never to tear anybody down. You guys know how I roll. That's not how all things well-being here on this channel. You guys know that. So let's go ahead. Let's run this clip. Hold on. Let's run this clip real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and start my assessment. So go ahead, run that.
Stay home with me. I remember you were confused. I think you thought we were fighting, like kids.
Okay, so you saw that, right? Let me give you my first assessment. My first assessment is this. Everything that happens to you, throughout your entire life, the good times, the bad times, the trauma, please understand that all of that stuff is still with you up until this day. Some of that stuff is buried deep down into your DNA. In every atom of who you are, your experiences are there. They're not gone. They are deeply embedded in your mind. Those moments, those moments where you felt alone, those moments where you felt abandoned, those moments where you did not feel safe. And especially those moments where you did not feel safe from the people who probably should have made you feel safe. And that is your mother and your father. When we are growing up and we are experiencing life and we experience trauma, the two people that we should be able to rely on when it comes to responding and protecting us should be our parents. And unfortunately, there are many people out there who did not have that experience where they felt protected by their mother or their father when something traumatic happened to them. And when that happens, okay, not only would it pull a strain on the actual parent relationship, it's not going to just do that, but that person is now changed forever. Hear me. Changed forever, meaning their outlook on life, on people, on circumstances, on things are going to be coming from that traumatic point of view. Okay? Now I'm going to play this next video and I want you guys to take a look at it, okay? And I'm going to go deep for just a moment. Go ahead. Take a look at that.
A little bit more. Him taking off some of my clothes.
Okay, so this is actually kind of really hard to watch. And the reason why it's so hard to watch is because everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. People want to act like they are, they just arrived at who they are without having some sort of backstory or going through something. But, all of us have some sort of story, some sort of trauma in some way, some fashion, something that, when we look back, we say, whoa, I really had that experience. And we can relate to one another. We may not have had the same experiences or the same life experiences, but we can definitely relate to someone who's experienced trauma. And when I'm looking at Miss Jeannie Mai, and I'm looking at this moment that she's having with her mother, there's one thing that I know that's absolutely for certain, is that this young lady, regardless of her pain, she still finds it in her heart to forgive the one person that should have protected her, or at least had her back when she told her that. Now, although she forgave her and she's forgiving and she's able to move forward and she's able to build new memories, right? Because I believe that's what they're doing. She said, I believe in one of her videos, she said that they have a good relationship now and that they are able to build new memories. But there's something that you must not forget here, okay? Is that the person that was assigned, and I say assigned because I'm talking about spiritually, right? The person that was assigned to be her mother, okay, said to her that when you decided to run away, I figured that I don't need a daughter like that. And I felt like, whew, that was hurtful. And I'm on the other, I don't know them, on the other side of the camera. And I'm, on the other side of that thing, on the outside looking at, and I felt the pain on that. And what you cannot negate is that the person that was assigned to be her mother not only allowed her to be vulnerable enough to have that experience and not, and not be able to come back and say, baby girl, I got you, in a way at that moment, right? She did come later on, but at that moment. But then later said, you want to run away? Go ahead and run away. Every little girl, I don't care where you are, I don't care what socioeconomic background you come from, I don't care if your parents were PhDs, I don't care what they were education-wise, every little girl wants her mother, because now her mother's a divine reflection of her, right? She's a woman. Wants her mother to not only love and protect her, but to also want to feel valued by her. Every little girl. Every little girl. Now, granted, there are some mothers out there who completely destroyed their daughters, and their daughters were not able to recover from the kind of hurt that their mothers gave. The kind of mothers that destroyed their daughters' self-esteem, this self-sense, self-sense word. I'm getting tongue-tied here. Let me slow down a bit. Their sense of self-worth. Got it, right? There's some mothers who've been able to do that in such a way that their daughters are still lost, well off into their grown years. Okay? But that magnificent thing about Jeannie Mai here is that her mother looked her in the face. And from what she understood at the time, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And then if you want to run away, go ahead. So there's no safety net there. There is no safety net. There's nothing there that says that I got your back, you're my daughter. And so for a woman to reflect that back to her as the mother, okay, as to reflect that back to her, not only leaves her vulnerable to the world, but it changes her perspective as a woman against women forever. That is a lifelong thing that you have to work out and work through. You have to work out and work through. There are mothers who have done it in such a way that their daughters cannot be repaired because, number one, they don't know the depth of the trauma that their mothers created. And number two, the mothers themselves are so broken that they don't know that they have done that to their daughters and that they're continuously doing it. Even in the I'm sorry's, they're continuously still inflicting pain. And that's what's sad about this very moment we both just witnessed, or we all witnessed, is that even in the sense of an apology being accepted, you're still not aware that you're still inflicting new traumas. New traumas. And that's because the person themselves are broken. There are many women who are broken today because their mothers still to this day don't know that they continuously keep inflicting more trauma on the trauma that they give them back way back. They're still inflicting more trauma. They're still inflicting more trauma. As far as to what chakra is open and what is blocked, in this particular case, of course, you know it is the heart chakra and it's the base chakra. So here's my advice to any of you guys who can probably relate to Jeannie's story. If your heart chakra and your base chakra is closed, okay, because of trauma. The reason why I say her base chakra is closed or might be experiencing some sort of energetic stagnation is because of the sexual abuse, okay? Sexual abuse gets stored, okay? It does get stored in your body like everything else, right? Remember what I said, that every experience is stored in every atom of your body, right? Yes. In the marrow of your bone, yes. But it's also stored energetically. So her base chakra will probably need some healing. I don't know. It needs some healing in that base chakra. And once she is able to move that energy, move that energy and do something with it, not only will she be able to have, it's not just about having great sex. It's not just about that, but it's about being able to move further into yourself. I think she is becoming self-aware. And what's really interesting is I don't think she's there yet. She's not there yet, so she's still becoming, like most of us, right? We're all becoming. But I think that base chakra needs a little bit of cleanup, okay? And that heart chakra needs a little bit of cleanup there. That is the space where she can completely love without fear, completely love without needing that extra. Tell me that you love me. Tell me I'm okay. Am I enough? That is actually still going to be there. But in this particular case, what attracted her to him was the brokenness. So can you attract a man from your broken space? Absolutely. Now, what kind of man would you attract from your broken space? Well, you got to read the book, number one, so you can really get a deeper understanding from it. But we attract men when we're healed and also when we're broken. And sometimes when a man comes to us when we're broken, it's because part of him needs that assignment just as much as you need someone to help you with your brokenness. So in this particular case, I believe he's there so that he can fill her up with some of his energy so that she can then walk into herself completely in her power. Now, she's already been doing so much with all of the stuff that she has experienced. Imagine what the heck is going to happen once that motherhood energy gets in there, that wife energy gets in there, and then what she learns through this relationship, because she's going to learn. Oh boy, is she going to learn. She is going to learn, okay? That first husband.
I knew a year for sure. When you got married? Yes. Y'all were married for 10 years.
I didn't get a chance to do an energetic reading on them, so I don't know what his assignment was in her life. I think I know what Jeezy's assignment is in her life, but it's going to be a ride. And if Jeannie ever watched this video, I would say that the one thing, from as a healer, the one thing that she can possibly do is completely get some help in that heart chakra area and the base chakra area. That way she don't put that much of a burden on her husband, because that's a heavy burden to carry. And it's okay for the first 2 years or so, when we're all in that honeymoon phase. But when the baby comes, that's going to be a different layer added on to the dynamics of the relationship. And you guys know this if you had children, is that children don't always make relationships great in some cases. In some cases, they expose where we are most unhinged in our relationships. Some of us, it makes the relationship good. And for others, it exposed the depths of what we might be missing, and the parts where we need to work on, and the parts that needs to be fixed. Babies do that. And that's because it's being parents is a whole nother level. Married is one thing, but being parents is a whole nother level. And so if she works on that base chakra, and if she works on that heart chakra, not, depending on her husband to fill up those spaces in her, I think they stand a better chance at surviving this thing that we all call marriage, and parenthood and all that stuff. They stand a good chance of getting through that, if in fact she can work on that part of her.
You guys, I'm almost like, am I losing my mind because I need to be told all the time? I'm like, do you love me?
For reaffirming, or do you love me? Tell me you love me. Do you love me? Do you love me? Are you sure you love me? Do you still love me? That is just natural from what she's experienced. And now, although she can get on TV and she can put on a face, and that's what's magnificent about her too, is that she's still able to continue on and soldier on. But at some point, you get tired. At some point, you don't want to drive the car anymore. At some point, you just want to say, somebody take the wheel. And that's exactly what she did here with Jeezy. He was not afraid to take the wheel. He was not afraid to take the wheel. And she felt safe, because she hadn't felt safe from the most important people in her life that was supposed to make her feel safe, and that was her mother and her father. In most cases, the mother is what we're going to look at here, is because the mother's influence on the daughter really dictates how she loves. The father is important, but in this case, I believe her mother's energy was completely the strongest energy in that household. And you got to remember that the little girl in you is still there. The little Karima is still there. The little Karima that said, I want to go to dance school. I want to go to dance school. She's still there. She's still there. You just get older. Your desires might change, but who you are at its core is always there. You came to this planet for a specific deal, right? And your experiences can interfere with that as you're growing and as you are experiencing life. Those traumas are there. And so when you experience being unsafe, and you have that traumatic experience with somebody touches you inappropriately, it's important to find somebody who's going to make you feel safe, or get you someone who's safe. Hear me what I'm saying. Get you someone who you think is safe, or get you someone who makes you feel safe. And I think that's what we have here energetically, is that she wanted to feel safe. And not even just, it's deeper than wanting to feel safe. It's needing to feel safe. Do you understand the difference between that? Wanting to feel safe and needing to feel safe are two totally different things. We're talking about something that is completely deeply ingrained, and the way you process your behaviors, the way you see the world, the way you see men, the way that you see women, all of that is all linked. Now, this constant need to tell me that you love me, tell me that you love me, that's not just pregnancy hormones. Now, pregnancy can absolutely do that to you. But my spidey senses are telling me that this is just the nature of who she is. She is going to need to feel that constant reassurance that you still have her back, and that you got her, and that you're going to hold her. So, Jeezy, here's my message to you, okay? You got yourself a woman who is energetically pushing forward herself in such a way that she is apologetic for making people feel like maybe she messed up.
He's the best man I know.
We love Freddie.
We love Freddie.
We love.
She's going to apologize to people who don't deserve to be apologized to.
He really
Freddie.
is. I married him because he's like my dad. He's very loyal, very compassionate, so
She's going to forgive people who necessarily don't deserve her forgiveness.
funny, an awesome guy. And in our 13 years of being together, there was never any lies, no betrayal, no cheating, nothing.
And I'm going to play this next clip to prove to you what I'm saying. In this particular clip, she was on the morning show with Mario, and I don't know if it's his wife. But I watched the moment where Jeannie stepped in front of herself to make the other person feel okay. Because maybe she thought, oh, I think I might have said the wrong thing, so let me go ahead and save it back. Go ahead and watch this and see what I'm saying.
Oh, like you were secretive about it, and I could tell you didn't want to tell too much or to ruin things. And then when you guys got married, and then the kids, and how sweet your daughter is, and you bring her out on stage at award shows, at the Daytime Emmys.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Congratulations.
Okay, so maybe I said something wrong. That goes back to, Mom, this happened to me. No, it didn't. Mom, this happened to me. No, it didn't. If you want to run away, go ahead. Maybe I said something wrong. That pushes you to think that anybody that you have a chance of creating, rapport with, if you said something, you want to apologize for it immediately, and you're constantly fixing and working things out, even when the person doesn't deserve that. And that's what I mean when I say that you're leading with your happenings. You're leading with what happened to you. And I'm sure if Jeannie ever watched this video, I'm sure she probably can relate to the fact of allowing people more chances than they actually need. A lot of people think, just off the surface, that Jeannie Mai is completely different than her husband. But you got to understand that she is a TV personality. This is not completely who I am, what you see on this YouTube channel. If about 20 minutes from now, I'll probably be in my office playing some really, really loud music. So please don't think that because what you see on TV, don't think that that's just the totality of who that person is. Jeannie Mai is deeper than what you see. She's deeper than what you see. And the reason why she's attracted to Jeezy, are you ready for this? Let me play this clip. Go ahead. Play that.
Oh my God. Okay.
Having a conversation with you too. Oh!
Fabulous gave me a little bit of a buzz one time. I like him.
Ooh, girl, your husband gonna kill you. Ooh, he gonna.
So, here's one thing that I need you to understand about having those relationships with your mother that are broken, is that you will have the constant desire or need to feel loved. You're going to need that affirmation over and over and over again. So when Jeannie said this in this next clip, I was not surprised. I immediately said, the love is going to be fantastic in the beginning. It's going to be amazing in the beginning. But as you settle in to the sand, as your toes get settled into the sand, it's sand. It's not ground concrete, right? When you are having traumatic experiences, it's like sand. So you kind of feel a little wobbly, and you want to do a check-in every once in a while. And I don't think it's just the pregnancy hormones in this space. I think it's because of her life experiences. Scared of rejection and failure, unsure, doubtful, and dependent on others. Stressed, anxiety-filled, and looking for a lover to fill in all the gaps that life living in the media has created. This wheel of dysfunction creates a world of emotionally immature people. Emotionally immature. We're not talking about just immature. Emotionally immature people. A nature of people who have learned how and whom to love by way of manipulation and control, and not by cooperation and respect. It's adulting in the most dangerous of ways. It's a roadmap that ends in the depths of a cul-de-sac. One that disables a person's willpower, free thinking, and emotional fearlessness. Let's chat for a second about emotional immaturity. Emotional immaturity is often the thoughts, ideas, state of being emotionally fragile. On the surface level, being emotionally fragile can be a learned behavior, a lack of developmental support, or untrained conflict and resolution facilities. To be emotionally fragile is best described as being emotionally unstable at times, to be easily disrupted emotionally by one or more circumstances without considering all the facts, random mood swings related to unrealistic expectations of others, uncertain behavioral changes as a result of what is internalized as rejection, becoming angry at someone but refusing to express or communicate what angered you, and becoming upset and angry at someone because they failed to do what you expected them to do, even though you never communicated to them what your expectations were. Moving into a dark space because of any of the above aforementioned reasons could be a sign of emotional immaturity. Let's be honest. Have you ever felt fragile? Be honest with yourself. Where were you mentally and physically? Do you remember the circumstances surrounding how you felt? And can you recall that feeling? Those most sought after women were women who lived on their own terms, made their own rules, and designed a life for themselves others wanted in on.